Hey everybody, Andy Stickle here. Today I'm going to teach you about a law that they did not teach you in law school. And this is a law that is an environmental law. It is as real as the law of gravity, the law of inertia, the law of motion, all those types of things. And here's the thing, they don't teach you about this, but this is how every human being operates. And this is also why it's so difficult for lawyers to get clients, because they don't understand this law. So this law is called the law of buying. And what you have to understand is that human beings all over the world, every single human being in the world makes a buying decision in the exact same way. And that includes hiring a law firm. So there's three steps to this process. The first step is awareness. The second step is building desire. And then the third step is making a purchase, buying, or hiring. But the problem is that most lawyers with your ads are trying to basically go straight from awareness right to desire, right to the build desire part, right to the buy hire part, trying to go right to the buy hire part, and they're trying to skip the desire part altogether, right? But here's the problem. It's trying to fight this is just like fighting the law of gravity. Try fighting the law of gravity. It's not going to work. It's an environmental law, and there's nothing you can do to change it. So what that means is that you need to go with human nature, not try to fight it. Now, the way that you can do that is by following up. Here's an interesting statistic that most people don't know. First one is 3%. Only 3% of any given market is actually ready to make a purchase. So if you're just putting an ad out that just says, hey, look at me, I'm a lawyer, hire me, then you're actually just going after this 3% and you're ignoring 97% of the people out there who need a lawyer who could eventually hire you. Now, here's another interesting thing. Forrester, they did a study and they found that 56% of people that hired a law firm did so after the fifth touch. So what does that mean? That means that 56% of people that hired a lawyer did so after they saw at least 5 things from that law firm. They came in contact with that law firm 5 times before they actually made a purchase. Yet most people are still trying to hit that home run. Most people are trying to skip the desire part. They're going straight from, hey, I'm a lawyer, hire me, and then trying to get them to make a purchase. But it just doesn't work that way. So one thing that's actually really interesting to think about is there's a guy named Pete Rose, and he is a Major League Baseball player. So I want to draw this out here because this is really important. So Pete Rose had a bit of a gambling problem. We can admit that. But the interesting thing about Pete Rose is that he is number 6 all time in runs scored in Major League Baseball. Think about how many tens of thousands of Major League Baseball players there have been, and Pete Rose is number 6 all time in runs scored. But here's what's really, really interesting about Pete Rose. He only ever hit 160 home runs. So how did he do it? Well, the interesting thing about Pete Rose is that he was number 1 all time in singles. See, Pete Rose realized that all he had to do was get on base to score. All he had to do is if he just got on base, he was going to score runs. And that's why he was able to be number 6 all time. Think about how many people in Major League Baseball, think about guys like Barry Bonds who hit over 700 home runs. There's actually, I don't believe that Pete Rose is in the top 500 of home runs, yet he's still number 6 all time in runs scored. And this is really the model that you need to remember when it comes to growing your law firm and trying to get clients, because I want to draw this out for you. If you take a look at this, let's say we're going to stick with the baseball analogy. This is a poorly drawn baseball diamond. This right here is what most lawyers are doing. They're coming up to bat. This is them. And they're swinging for the fences. They're trying to hit a home run, right? But most of the time that doesn't work, just because that's just not how life works, because only 3% are actually even eligible to hire you. And what are the odds that you're going to get all 3% of them? It's probably not very good, right? So what you should do instead is you should go for singles. So this should be you right here. You're up to bat. And instead of going for a home run, you're just trying to provide a small piece of value, right? So let's say you record a video that helps them solve a small problem. Now they watch the video, they know who you are, and now you're on first base. And then you follow up with a remarketing ad. And that remarketing ad is another video that provides more value and solves another small problem. So now you're on second base. And you're getting warm, and you're getting warm, you're getting closer. And then let's say you put out a free download, like a free guide, like a cheat sheet or something like that. Well, now they download the free guide, and now they're consuming more of your content, and they're getting more help with more of their problems. And then eventually you keep going through this process, and they're going to come home and they're going to score a run, right? So that is how the most successful law firms that we work with, they work through this process. And you can use social media, you can use email. There's so many different ways to work through this process so that you can go after this 97% instead of just the 3% that every single person is fighting over. And you know what's interesting? Most people, most lawyers are fighting over this 3%. That's why Google Ads cost $250 a click for personal injury attorney in some markets. It's because they're just going for that 3%. Now, I want to go back to this law of buying real quick, because there's something that's very interesting that happens with this. You have to understand that some purchasing decisions are very quick and some are longer. So, for example, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I were shopping in St. Petersburg, Florida, and it was kind of one of those. It was a main street, and there's a lot of restaurants and everything on the street. So we were walking down, and I was hungry. So we came upon a restaurant. I saw the restaurant. I'd never even heard of this restaurant before. It was a local place, and I looked at the restaurant, and they had one of those menus on the outside. So now I'm aware of the restaurant, right? I walked up, I read the menu, and they had these really they had these really cool sandwiches. I think I got a California Club sandwich or something like that. So I read their menu. I said, "Oh, that sandwich looks good. There's my desire." And then we went inside and we had a meal. We purchased, right? Sometimes this law of buying, this process is very quick. Now, I want you to compare that to something like buying a house or hiring an attorney even is a long process, or buying a car. For example, I really, really want a Tesla. I really want to buy a Tesla. I have watched so many videos on YouTube about Tesla. I've gone to the Tesla website about 30 times and configured my own Tesla, with all, I can pick the seats and the wheels and the colors and, do I want the S package or the speed package and all that type of stuff, right? That is a much longer buying decision. I am still in the desire portion of the Tesla purchase. I am going to eventually buy a Tesla. I just haven't done it yet because the desire hasn't tipped over yet, right? So if you apply this to your law firm, you will get so many more clients just because of the fact that you're allowing this natural process. You're allowing the law of buying to actually occur the way that the client wants it to occur. And when you do this, when you stop fighting, think about trying to fight gravity. You're not going to win. You're not going to win by fighting gravity. Same thing with this. You're not going to win, or you're not going to win long term if you're constantly trying to fight this. In fact, if you can do this, if you do this successfully, you will absolutely destroy every other law firm in your market because very few attorneys know this system. Now, if you want to see step by step, just like that, basically exactly how you can do this entire thing on autopilot, then I put together a 15-minute training video that you can take a look at. And it shows you exactly how to do it. It gives you examples of many different practice areas that we've actually done this for, such as personal injury, criminal defense, family law, estate planning, real estate, Social Security, disability, and many, many others. It actually gives you real-world examples. Plus, it actually shows you all the steps that you need to take to actually make this system happen so that you can start going after that 97% in your market and not just the 3% that everybody's fighting over. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave a comment below, and I hope to see you on the training.